In the name of God, the most gracious, the most beneficent, good morning, the guest, distinguished audience, person, or virtually online. I'd like to welcome you to this workshop about scientific research as a fuel to industrial growth and development. Dr. Nabil Al-Hakami will be talking about how scientific research is a driver, trigger to industrial development. Also, we will have Dr. Muhammad Al-Awami to talk about further topics. Also, we'll talk about the support coming into play from the SIDF by Noura Al-Grain. I'll be talking about this, of course, from the medical and pharmaceutical sector. I am honored to moderate this session. Would like to first welcome Professor Muhammad, Dr. Muhammad, Dr. Nabil Al-Hakami. He has such a great expertise, and Dr. Nabil Al-Hakami, Professor Nabil Al-Hakami, General Supervisor of AI Tiraq Pharma Wadi Jeddah. He is he's a founder of the Saudi Society for Pharmaceuticals. In addition to being a pharmaceutical consultant, a professor of pharmaceuticals and pharmaceuticals at King Abdulaziz University, Professor Nabil seeks through his own initiatives and work to further support to localize biomedical industries in line with Vision 2030. Dr. Nabil, Professor Nabil Al-Hakami will present and talk about the scientific research as a driver fuel to industrial growth and development. Good morning. Thank you so much. I hope I'm clear to you all. Thank you so much, Mrs. Noura and Dr. Muhammad, and thanks also for SIDF for the invitation. We hope our talk today will be productive and added value to you. The topic is from factory to market. In the upcoming slides, we'll be talking about a personal experience and expertise from Medical Tiraq Company, which is one of the companies of Wadi Jeddah Valley under the umbrella of King Abdulaziz University. Thankfully, of course, we are one of the leading pioneering companies in the medical and pharmaceutical product companies and the pharmaceutical products across the markets. First, without research, no industry can further develop. Scientific R&D and I, of course, leads or is the fuel of innovation. Not why we need to talk about innovation, research and development across the pharmaceutical sector, and currently everyone is aware of the fact that Vision 2030 of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, led by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, may Allah protect him, and the importance of the transformation into innovation across all sectors. Among the most important sector based on which Vision 2030 is the industrial sector. For the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to be unique enough in the pharmaceutical industry, it is very important to enhance scientific research as a key factor to make such a great success stories. Within this age, of course, scientific research is not like a luxury. It is a must for all universities, factories, and centers. That is why we need to translate ideas and research into added value and implementable products helping the industrial growth and development for the countries. It is the key driver for pharmaceutical industry, for pharmaceutical sustainability across all sectors. We'll be talking today about, for the brevity of time, how scientific research can transform from theory into practice for the national economies and communities. Scientific research was limited and confined only to centers or research centers which did not play such a direct impact on the economic growth and development and outcomes. But recently, by continued directive and guidance from all the entities, all the ministries, all the authorities. Like there has been a focus on enhancing scientific research to have more products, and we have seen national priorities to create and establish the authority of research, development, and innovation that has targets, of course, or set targets, clear-cut vision, and different fields and pathways to support research and development and innovation. Our discussion will be talking about the importance of research and in industry, and how to translate it from idea to product or products, and the communication, the cooperation, coordination between different universities, and how important it is for a company to play such a great role. Before we get started, I'd like to focus on one point. We are talking here about an added value, which means that it will come up with physical products, either like software or product or AI applications. At the end of the day, in today's workshop, the aim of research, development, and innovation, it means that we need to come up with added value products. And also, when we talk about added value in any field or pathway, it comes out with theory transformed into a practice. So we need to focus on the industrial product or entrepreneurship. The first target of the outcomes of entrepreneurship is to achieve profitability, to ensure continuum. And this is the basic or the starting point for any research project, as of the beginning or even like later stages. So any project would be difficult to be successful unless otherwise it comes up with products. So why scientific research is very important for industry? Everything relating to medical products and vaccinations to smart phones and other applications depended on scientific research, and research gets into products and practical solutions or applications, and continue to develop, of course, and updates come into also play, and how products can move from one product to another. We are living in an increasingly growing world, globalization. All the countries are well connected to each other in terms of the social media. So global competitiveness across the world countries so huge, so high. And most of the developed countries do invest in research, development, and innovation, which are all fuel to growth and development. So global competitiveness is to enhance success, commercial success, business success, medical success, to bring and come up with non-traditional products to enhance the existing sectors, or come up with new sectors that did not or do not exist, very much like AI. AI created, of course, a market that did not exist before. We are talking here about billions of dollars. Also, scientific research, of course, brings in theories, brings in approaches. So that these are some factors, some reasons why we need to focus on research, development, and innovation industry. So industrial innovation is not like is a surprise or a chance. No, it has been there based on the development. That is why it is very important to transfer knowledge into market. We are focusing now on scientific, on industrial research, and to come up with added value. Scientific research, meaning to bring more and more support into university, and we have unlimited support coming from the government across the different research centers, and special support for research, development, and innovation, technical application, implementable solutions, and industrial solutions. whether local markets or regional markets or even global markets, each and every part of these markets either enhances or weakens the product. So the challenges are always at the transitional stages. I have a very good idea, which is like a research piece or a product piece. It means to understand the market first, the baseline, the current situation, globally, locally, and regionally. These are key points you have to focus on, which lead us to the valley of death, where researchers are very much excited and they believe that this idea will change the whole landscape across the market. But they may face some challenges, critically difficult challenges, and the research idea or ideas may not be implementable, but this does not give this leads to a valley of death. Reducing challenges or difficulties across the valley of death is to understand the markets ins and outs, and the baselines in terms of the investment implications. Also to understand the supporters, to understand where such kind of support comes from. Regulations are very important to be understood. Legal issues, considerations, legislative considerations are also very important to understand, including facilities, infrastructure. So there are different factors. So the more you understand your inputs and outputs and the markets, the less risk come into play. And the more you understand risk, the less they come. Also, we have what is known as knowledge transfer or technology transfer, which is to link between research, scientific research, and factories or industry. And the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is so unique when it comes to petrochemicals. So you may find another country may come into partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to transfer their knowledge, technologies inside that country through different agreements or memorandum of understanding. Equally important when we have like advanced technologies such as like AI and other technologies may require international partnerships to transfer knowledge and then to develop their roles and responsibilities. Would like to talk about why it is very important to transfer knowledge, or this country then develop it like to be a leading in this sector. So you don't have to start technology from scratch, but you have to develop it where other have already completed. This is a good example in pharmaceuticals. We have like different industries, pharmaceutical industries and biomedical industry. Great support coming from the wider leadership. The National Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Strategy launched by His Royal Highness Crown Prince 1.5 years almost. So we have a clear-cut pathway, clear target. We have a roadmap for tendering for the private sector institutions, organizations, and companies. So we have the discovery stage, particularly the bio targets. The discovery stage is that the idea should be out of the box or out of the scope, out of the traditional, to find a solution for any existing problems. If there is an existing problem in society or in economy, this is very important to find a solution. That means that you choose a big part of the journey, the idea from the idea to the product. So discovering a problem, then discovering a solution for this would be great. The second stage for pharmaceutical industry, once you discover the problem or a medicine for a certain disease, and there is like a demand for this, you need to come one stage before to prove it in clinical research or clinical and pilot experiences. In vitro and vivo, you have to try it either in the laboratory or on animals to see how feasible they are, safe they are, secure they are. Then you have to come to develop the formula. You need to prove that this kind of composition is excellent at the laboratory, we need now to see it formulation across animals, for example, and you need to develop this kind of pharmaceutical or medical or biomedical product in such a way to make it like clear. So you come to the clinical, of course, experiences where approval should be obtained, and you start then on human beings, phase 1, 2, 3, and then after approval endorsed, we have a clear system, clear regulations are all made available. So we have to develop a certain pharmaceutical product. Every year, we have a certain process or journey for part of the investment regulations and so on. And each point has a critical decision, which is go or no go pathway. In the first stage, for example, I know that the medical discovery for a certain disease, from the beginning of the idea, do we need this kind of idea or we don't? Shall I solve it or not? For a certain disease, or the medicines available may not be practical or feasible. So it is very important for me to find a medicine for that disease, or the prices of the medicines available on the market are very expensive, and the one solution I will provide will be very good and very cheap, or much better efficient. So I'll go with go. Or from the beginning, I will make this medicine available, even though different medicines are available, and I have to think again and again, which means like no go. At the end of the day, I will see that there are different medicines, and the medicines are very cheap, so mine will not be feasible or practical in this market or in the market share. So I will be a failure if I don't like withdraw. This is what is known as the value of death. So to develop the product, you have to be fully aware of the market, particularly in the entrepreneurship, like backward, which means like to start building from the end. We'll talk about this in the Tiryak company experience. This is for the pharmaceutical and medical industry. So we have to develop the formulation, partnership, getting it to the market, timeline for development of any medicines in terms of innovated medicines depends on whether the company is a startup or not. Like is a company that has come up with some research centers or universities, so it needs like more time. And the issue of supporting this company or one of the big the small farmers, so different issues, regulations, and also the coordination with the SFD and different, like the American Medicine, Drug and Food Authority in the States. As I've said, we can speed it up based on different factors. So whether here in the kingdom or States, Europe, across countries, universities are the key driver when it comes to developing products in general, of course, the pharmaceutical in particular, whether directly or indirectly. Availability of medicines, specialists, pharmacists, physicians, and also like to be protected by a patent. Patent is not an end, it's just a tool to protect yourself. It's not just to have like some patent, it's I have to have some products and I paid a lot of money, so I need to protect it, my work. I need to protect my work. Over the recent 3 years, I may like, I need to seek money, I need to profitize it, monetize it. Also, some investment companies have supported me. So we need to protect the idea. We need to protect the idea, so that we need to have a patent for this. It's not like an end. It is to protect yourself for different years, where I can get into the market to be protected, and also can be like more and more, and how they are. So without a patent, you cannot further develop or go ahead, because if not protected, so you may come up with a product, another one may come up with a product while he is patented and you are not. So in this case, it can be a copy, it can be like imitated, or it cannot be accepted, so and not be economically feasible. The most important thing for us, so patent is a tool, it's not an end. So we need to study it from the beginning, and we need to better understand how, like, is it like unique, and what is the value to be added. Back to universities. The universities are the drivers, the triggers, the fuel of development and growth industries across the developed countries. Can be either directly or through research or patent, that can be translated in cooperation with the big companies to take these, or can be translating into startups, either from university or research centers. Startups raise money and can get financial support from unicorns or angel investors, and can be bigger and bigger, and can be into the IPO or bigger companies, so that can be acquired or partnered with other companies. This is indirectly, of course. It could be some unique and prestigious universities, or even professors that bring together different entities, different organizations, companies, to benefit, to make it more beneficial, and also to push it for the benefit and interest of humanities, supporting the industrial sector, and the industrial sector itself supports the university. So it is like two-way win-win, or a two win-win situation. Of course, more financial support, more scientific and intellectual support. Universities provide, and research centers provide, like talented capacities and communities, ideas. One thing to be clear, universities and research centers are key drivers for industry. It's not necessarily industry, but it is like a holistic landscape of research, production, manufacturing. So it is a fully integrated stage, or journey, whether private sector or public sector. So when it is unique, it means that others are unique as well. There is a big discussion about competitiveness across the world, particularly states and China, in medical technology, how regulations can be developed, and the assessment of the industrial sector also can be assessed, and this created like good, positive competitiveness across the world countries, across the countries. Also, risk management and sharing between the two parties. If I am a big company, not necessarily to have research, development, and innovation in-house, I may take it like from another companies in close cooperation with different universities or entities, enhancing, promoting innovation, bringing theory into practice. The most important part in this slide about the cooperation and coordination between the private sector and the public sector. The private sector and the public sector networking is very important. So this is a common language. I mean, when they two sectors, private sector and public sector, build a common language, is very important for the factories, for the manufacturers, for the supporters, so they all work in tandem, they all work in perfect harmony. So it is very important to have different meetings, workshops, like such as, for example, the Saudi Society for Biomedical and Pharmaceutical Products, to enhance this kind of sector, to better understand the demand and solve the challenges. So it is very important for them to speak the one common language. And the first factory next to me in Medina talks about a different level. So it is very important for me, for example, to have the same common language. These are some successful models of companies, and this gives me a clear understanding of the market and the successful models. The good thing is that we need to have a common goal between different companies. For example, I need like the ideas, I need the human resources from universities so that I can depend on them. Common projects, common ideas, common values. So it's a win-win situation. So me as a company, I need to invest in, for example, research devices or technology. If I am a next door company, then I can partner with them to benefit from their capabilities and capacities. So they can like make co-authored research studies. As a factory, so it is very important for me to depend and support like transitional projects, key projects, and research, so that in the future they can help. Licensing agreement based on my networking and common language between my sector and the other sector. It is very important for me. Dr. Muhammad Al-Awami and everyone should or do understand this, like in terms of licensing, patent, or even like translating one common patent into monetized product for the national economy and the company as well. AI programs and applications, these are very important for researchers. It's not just like to be inside factories. They need to have a common language and need to network. Fellowship programs are very important. People working across universities need to go to factories, laboratories, so that they need to enhance how things work and how things operate across the field, rather than just be confined and imprisoned inside their offices. Sorry. And this also helps to build common language of trust and better understanding. We also have accelerators and incubators that take ideas or patents 1 month or less. We will have like accelerators and incubators in King Abdulaziz University, representing the Valley of Jeddah, whether inside or outside. They have great ideas that can be translated into products, and we have like financial technical support to guide them through different pathways. Success factories, everything should be clear, legal agreements, understanding the market, understanding the landscape. Your expectations and anticipations should be real or realistic, and should not be imaginary. And I should be down to earth. There should be steps, of course. Understanding this financially, economically, locally, and also you need to understand your destinations, where you are heading for, to solve an existing problem in a certain city or in on a specific time for a certain group. Also, it should be measurable, at least over the first years. So I need to start this with an idea. I cannot start with an idea without being protected with a patent, because it will be negatively impacted in the future. we don't have to do everything. As an entrepreneur, you don't have to do everything. I may start with a step and make it bigger and give it to another company so that they can start or work on it. Team working is very important. We have to work as one teamwork with one spirited harmony. So I have to have different specialization, different specialists, different subject matter experts, so that I can understand the market and the landscape from different angles. Some people may be full-time employees, some others may not be so. So I may delegate some roles and responsibilities to you so that you can lead. Of course, executive director has like more and more experience. At the end of the day, it's a company rather than like one-man company. As we've said, it's not just academic activity, and academic research is not just a university. It has to be transformed, translated into products, into solutions, implementable solutions. So research centers do understand this across the market. They need to understand the market. As I've said, we need to understand the demands, the needs of the market now or in the future. So I need to build direct relationship with the market and the industrial sector. Of course, if not, then I may be delayed for this kind of ideas to come into the market or to come into the implementation phase. So this is something that we have seen over the recent years, a big trend coming from, of course, this sector, and also to support, the government supporting the startups. King Abdulaziz, King Abdullah, and King Saud universities have all supported across the different valleys. Also, the growth and development and the venture projects, of course, that invest in these companies, and the culture of investment and innovation, development, and research, and patent as well. Of course, always accompanied with a risk, but the purpose of which is the more you understand the risk, the less they are. And also, investment proposition should not be like biased. Localization supply chains across different sectors. And there is something known as light points, which means that we don't have to be unique in everything. I may be unique in certain light points, which of course can create the field or the pathway so that I can be uniquely distinguished, enhancing the other points. So we can start from 1 to 2, 3 points, and then we can increase our strengths, creating job opportunities, enhancing productivity, in addition to other economic returns and the added value for the economy, and also for industry in general. About $800 billion in terms of, and it'll be 1 trillion over the upcoming years. For the medical and biomedical research and pharmaceutical research, and also 500,000 of job opportunities to be created. 1.8 point for the GDP of the expenditure. For the across the developed countries, developing the existing markets and industries and the potential ones. How to measure success? This is a brief idea about how to measure how you are making development. Patent and the number of patents used commercially. This is one way. So one way to measure it is to have like patents. Sometimes it's misleading if you have more patents and you keep them on archive and they are functionless, or they are like impractical across the market. So it's misleading. You have so many patents, but many are not like translated into products, or not licensed. You may have like 100 patents, just 20 are registered. That would be great, or licensed. That would be great. So patent, and also the quality of patent, the quality of license, and also should reflect the market, the current situation across the market. And we need to understand that they are needed, they are on demand. And so many researchers, patentees that work hard, but they are functionless or not required or demanded across the market. So it is very important for you to understand the market and the landscape. You may have an idea, translate it into a patent, but it's not practical. It's impractical. It doesn't have any economic returns. It's not needed by the people across the market. You may come up with the best patent for a certain disease, but the market value is not there. So you may not be able to market and promote it. So when you don't understand the market, the patent, this will impact on this on you, of course, into the future. So you might have heard of renting patents or patents because they don't understand the landscape of the market, they don't understand the needs. So it is very important to understand this, how it is needed, how it is on demand. So you don't have to start from scratch. You may start like with transferring knowledge based on partnerships with the local or global companies. Not technology only, but also for the development of this kind of technology. Also, there's need to. Also, we have to understand the support, the financial support. So you have to sell your knowledge or technology. If not well and aware of this, it means that you will be a failure. Also, financial returns. So you need to understand. You need to localize industries. You need to localize it. You need to understand like how innovative industries to be located and not traditional industries, and this is something that is really of great importance. One example is Atriaq company, as an example how we started. It is owned by Valley of Jeddah, owned. It is owned by the Valley of Jeddah and by King Abdulaziz University. We have like different partnership with the private sector companies. One of the Al Dawaiya, one of the medical and pharmaceutical companies. After COVID-19 pandemic, we met and we talked and we discussed different pharmaceutical development, and we were successful really. And we thought that the product of the university can be of course, the ideas, the research ideas can be translated into products. That is why Atria company was established as an investment company for King Abdulaziz universities to, of course, translate the research ideas and outputs and outcomes into like practical solutions. 3 years we started. Our capacities and qualities were so simple. Now we have thousands of products. We have 9 products that are sold for thousands. This is one good example of the leading companies to enhance scientific research. Which really benefited a lot from. And any universities like the speed of implementation from idea to model. In the pharmaceutical or medical sector. So we are doing our best. And our purpose is to this is very important to see if this kind of product will be sold or saleable or not. It is the mind that produces more and more ideas, more innovation, more research, and more development. So at the end of the day, we partner with companies that to manufacture, even like marketeers, promoters, distributors, to work and operate across the factories and manufacturers. So we focus on the quality of research, the quality of development, the quality of innovation. So it is very important for us to understand the market, at least the first stage, and then you need to develop high quality products, innovative products, and start a new market. And thousands of units. These are the key success stories to understand the market, the standards of quality, whether human or non-human. We have agile manufacturing, or we have agile platforms, enablers. King Abdulaziz University is such a huge one, more than 30 research centers benefiting from the outcomes to translate them into the needs of the market. Governance, regulations, organization, understanding the demands and the needs of the market. I can move from one product to another one if I see that there is no need anymore of this or for this. This may be a small success for Teriaq company, but this is something that we feel proud of. So the learned lessons from Teriaq company, you need to look into the real problem, understand the needs and the demands of the market. Speed of implementation is very important. So I don't have to access the full stages or have or complete everything. Teriaq company is not a fully fledged company, so I don't have to have a distribution network. I may like start with Teriaq and work with the different partners and industry organizations. Partnerships are very important. A network and partnerships are very important to help you understand the market. High quality is very important. SFD is very important here in the Kingdom and the States. The best quality pathways, we have them all. We are fully committed with a clear-cut pathway, and we have high levels of agility of moving from one product to another one based on the market needs. Thank you so much. The key message: the transformation of economy is based on the transfer from needs-based economy to transformational economy, to knowledge-based economy, which is knowledge development, innovation, research. So success is based always on different sequenced steps. Thank you so much for your attention, Liz. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to Professor Nabil for the presentation. And now we have Dr. Muhammad Al-Awami as a PhD researcher in nanotechno from the UK. Dr. Muhammad has a master degree in nanotechnology from London University and master degree in the sensing technology from Cambridge. Dr. Muhammad established Cambridge company, which develops different sensing, biomedical sensing for the blood speed technology. He has awarded different times, and he has award as the first male student from 14,000 applicants. Dr. Muhammad is leading a great initiative launched in 2021, which is a global initiative supporting researchers, innovators, and academicians across the world and has received different awards, such as the Global Impact in Cambridge, a Global Impact Award in Cambridge. Dr. Mohammed, the floor is yours. Peace be upon you all, and very good morning. I'm honored and excited to be here. Mrs. Noura, or Miss Noura, thank you so much for this great organization and workshop. I hope the presentation will be inspiring for the students who are ahead of or still on the way, and also to be a good learned lesson. First and foremost, it'll be about my journey as entrepreneur, working across the entrepreneurship and scientific research. I also worked on knowledge transfer, how to work on this and how to benefit from my experiences and not to make the same mistakes I made in the past. Before I start, this is an overview. I completed my secondary school years in the UK and then was sent to USA, and then I specialized in biophysics and bioscience, and then I studied my master degree in generative medicine, USL, which is one of the best universities. And I did another master degree in Cambridge University, which is among the best 5 universities across the world. Moving ahead, I completed my PhD in Cambridge University. My research study focused on biotechnical and medical technologies. In my journey, I established different companies as of 2016 all the way up till now. I will share you some experience. Some are failures, some are great, really, because we are still at the level of development. First and foremost, in preparership, I started this in 2016. I have watched a movie on Facebook. I loved Mark Zuckerberg. I am not a programmer, but I wanted to learn programming or software programming. And then, before I went to a supermarket, I was like making a kind of programming. So I had like great passion to make my objective to open a company or establish a company, a programming software company. I mean, I worked in different companies, but I had some big problem, or one big problem, to launch it, to work on it, but I don't have any kind of marketing plan. You just build the product and everyone will come to you. I did not like make any kind of budget for marketing, and I thought that it will be great. No one, at the end of the day, no one really was helpful. So all these issues, all these projects were not successful, but I really learned a lot. And also I learned a lot about software and programming, and I really enjoyed industry, hand industry or hands-on skills, how to make something tangible. And by the end of 2016, I started the first project for me. When we make like experiences in laboratories, we use a lot of materials, even in factories, so you need a lot of materials. And I saw that this like causes a lot of losses. How to reduce this? Based on experience, chemical experiences, experiences, like tons of materials I used, all chemical compounds and components. The idea is how to make macrofluidic, which is very simple to make. I also have an idea like garage. Everyone should work in garage, and I used to work at home. So the impact of Silicon Valley was so big. So I started on this for different months, but I felt that I had some lack of skills in the same field. So I thought to recruit some employees. I thought that it would be easier. I went to India or Philippines, and you can have some employees or experts. I spent about 3 weeks making different interviews. I did not find anyone qualified, and I knew then like getting someone who are or some people who are highly qualified, it means that you should first be qualified so that you can understand what is required or what is required and who is qualified or who is not. Unfortunately, the project came to a halt, it came to an end because I myself was not qualified. But these kind of, even though I made like conducted different research studies, but at least then I understood that they were immature. Also, the most important learned lesson is that you need marketing budget. It's not feasible or practical to have a product. It is very important to make a marketing budget to understand the market, and then you can build the market, and then you market the product. The key lesson for me is to start with a skill and then understand the market. And this is something I really applied. UCL, there's something I noticed. And the first thing I did in UCL, I always have gaps in my skills, and this is something referred to by Professor Nabil, that you need a team. So it was the first experience for me to build teams. So the team has different integrated skills. Understanding the landscape of the market before building any product. My specialty was generative medicine. We talked to medicines and we talked to them about the great challenges. We talked to urologists, and they said the biggest problem for us is the urological catheter, and still the design has been there for about 80 years. 80 years is still used, and even the materials are very much traditional. So we thought how to make this kind of development, and we redesigned the urological catheter, and we invented and innovated actually new materials for this product so that we can solve the problems. We really made such a great progress, but we found a challenge. The team was not like really excited because the team was not able to put like a lot of efforts for a long time. So the lesson learned is that you need a team very much excited, passionate, working for years, even like did not make any success or successes. Following this, I had some kind of scientific experience in scientific research. After conducting my master degree in UCL, we started like looking for a new problem. I always say why we don't have any solution. Always thought of food pollution or products derived from porks or pigs in the States or UK. So I was very much sensitive to this. And I thought that why we don't have a device to check the materials if they have any kind of harmful materials. It's an idea. If I thought of this again, I will not work, but then I was very much excited. So I started working on the best centers to work on halal materials or halal food, where like some pork products or non-halal materials. I found this center in Malaysia. I work with them. Before, of course, there is something very important, not just to understand the needs of the market, but also to understand the materials across the market. Before working on this innovation, we work on a research paper seeking to understand the needs, the materials across the market, to discover any pollutants from or harmful effect materials from pigs and porks, what is there and what's not there. So we started an idea for an innovation to check the harmful materials in the market. And we sought some kind of financial support. What we had a new problem. We solved the problem or the other problems. Which is the financial management. I didn't have any kind of financial management skills. So the money was over before we come up with a product. And this is the key lesson, is to have a strong experience and expertise in the financial management relating to budgetary considerations to have like a product. So after this, I studied in Cambridge University before COVID-19 pandemic. I joined Hackathon, which is like diagnose malaria disease across the villages. And we have won the financial award in the hackathon. And there was a mistake that we made, that we focused on, a problem that not so many people were interested, not investors as well, not financial support. The people interested were very few, even though with these considerations or factors, we continued, and we progressed. The company they opened was in COVID-19 pandemic. So we worked on something that was of a great interest to other people. So the thing that we have to find, even the problem is to diagnose the malaria. There are two things. You need a technical person, a technician, to take the sample and make the smear, and then to understand the cells. So that you can understand the reasons why you have this kind of disease. In the villages, we don't have technicians. The other thing is also it's not easy to access these colors across the villages, and no one can deal with them. This kind of innovation was very close to me, or my passion. So we started researching into how we can get rid of the coloring, and we started like looking into research studies. While searching and researching, I found a research paper that was distributed or that was published in King Saud University before 40 years from the period of time that I was working and in the kingdom. So the solution to a problem that we suffered in 2020 was before 440 years in the kingdom. And we said, let's take this solution. It was so big, and we said, let's take this solution and make it small. So our innovation was a device, handable, can be held in hand, can be portable, and this kind of microscope can take pictures of the cells and discover the malaria cells without coloring, and will be a way to collect blood without a technician. In this way, we can do without the technician and the coloring issue. And we made like different prototypes. We stopped there because it was COVID-19 pandemic coming into play then. So the team members, everyone went their way. So it was difficult for us to complete it. So it was the team problem, and then I started with my PhD thesis, and we worked with a very advanced company. I conducted my research studies in Cambridge in physics, in the physics departments, and there was a technological department. It has nothing to do with the biomedical technologies, and I thought of the physical technologies to transfer it or transform it into medical diagnosis device. Of course, the company has won millions of dollars based on their investments, and they have really made different things that are unique par excellence. The key thing here that helped the company to be successful when we started in COVID-19 pandemic, we started from the beginning how this can be further supported and how we can transfer or can change or can implement this kind of device into diagnosis so to be more successful. So you need to start with the start of the wave, or even before you come to the peak. Once you are at the peak, it means you will be having difficulties. So we started the burst while we were excited, and then the wave was burst, so support decreased. We came to a point when you want to build something, you have two options: either the technology push, which is the bad one. It means that you have to work on the research and make your patents, and then you get into the market. This is incorrect way. You have a solution, but you don't know the problem, and you don't know who will use it. So you'll spend long time to better understand who will use it. While the correct way is the market pull. So the market needs this kind of solution, and you understand what is it needed there. So you can start building this directly. I had a problem then. We started the market pull in COVID and how we can benefit from this, of course. And we started technology that no one wanted. And we worked on the technology push, which is the future technology that is unique, but we did not know what to do. We spent 2 years researching into what is it to be used or where to be used. It was a waste of time for us. If time flash goes back, we will not do it again. But we made different success stories. This is a piece of advice to everyone. Don't get started with your patent and then you need to see how to make a product. You start to understand the market landscape, and or you have to look for someone who understands the market, then you have to build your product. I need to explain this kind of technology quickly. We worked on small sensors. This size of this small, this is for a sensor for DNA. This DNA, or the DNA goes through this hole or point or open, and we can then analyze the compound of this DNA. The size of this is 10,000, 1,000 to 10,000 smaller than the thickness of a hair. So we can study DNA directly. So this sensor, the one I'm using, is very much like needles that have very small aperture. These needles cannot by themselves be successful. We have a DNA which is like a strip and protein, but we don't know anything about this. We can see it like just like a strip, and we don't know nothing about it. So we have this kind of problem. How is it for us to benefit from this kind of sensor to analyze the DNA in one way or another? So we discovered a new way to make or create a barcode which can be attached to the DNA, or which are the acidic, the nucleic acids. In this way, we can create a barcode for each and every DNA or RNA, and giving us this kind of sign 1001. So for each compound to be discovered, to give it a special barcode, we use this kind of technology so that we can have different barcodes for DNA, so that we can diagnose this kind of DNA. What is the problem I wanted to solve? After I made great efforts, which is like sepsis. Sepsis is very dangerous. 20% of this are because of the sepsis, blood sepsis. Well, blood sepsis is very dangerous because people infected with blood sepsis will pass away within a few days. It's infection in blood, bacterial infection or fungal infection, and with high speed. Within a few days, such people will pass away. The diagnosis of disease may take days. So people infected with this will pass away before they are diagnosed. So that's why we need like such a speedy and a quick technology to solve this problem, diagnose it before they pass away. And this was like identified within 5 days. So we made a device with 5 hours to diagnose such kind of diseases. The good thing about it's still not on the market. We have a new way for barcoding. When we come to the competitive technologies, the one using like for sequencing, they read one letter at the same time. So it gives us like 1,000 speed faster than the other technologies. The technology was examined, tested on blood, on other samples of people infected with COVID or COVID-19 pandemic. As I've said, because diagnosis takes long time, that is why doctors need to give like a cocktail of antibiotics, hoping that it'll be efficient, and some other times it may not be efficient, then such people will pass away. That is why we need to make the diagnosis within a few hours without the doctors needing to guess the medicine, or can achieve the medicine, and the solution can be quick. So doctors need to be anticipating. We don't have time to diagnose. So these kind of innovations really helped a lot, made us really successful, and I was selected one of the stars of innovation in Cambridge universities as one of the greatest 21 innovators in England, or as a student with so many achievements. I stopped on this after we getting investments. I wanted to go back to the kingdom and wanted to open a Saudi university to have like different research studies to come up with global solutions. So the new company I'm working on, I brought all my land lessons in the past to have a wave, to get in the wave, to make something that can be reachable, and to have like such a great team, dream team, to solve the problem or to make the market, to make the pull before the market push. And technology per se, in brief, you have to, and now we have wave we have, it may have like a burst. So many people talk about this. Google CEO that it may burst. The technology I used to work on, which is like changing data to something that is digital for companies, organization, researchers, academics, doctors. We can help them to change these data for applications, and we get into MISC program, and we were among the best companies. What is e-learning? AI is to teach machine how to think like humans. And e-learning or machine learning how to discover patterns of data. It could be small or big. These kind of patterns can be used for anticipation. This is what is known as machine learning. Deep learning, when we have like a so big data and we need to better understand the patterns that are very difficult. Here comes AI, the one that we know, generative AI, such as ChatGPT, which is part of the deep learning, Gemini and others. But they have a problem. We think that they are smart, but they are very simple. What is it that it can do for ChatGPT and Gemini? They can write a code or a speech, make pictures, that's it. It cannot, for instance, like disease diagnosis or automation or discover problems, fraud detection, for example. So here comes the machine learning. The machine learning is something that can do the disease diagnosis or automation. So our company, as simple as such, focuses on this, focuses on the deep learning, deeper than generative AI. It is a platform very much like generative AI. Anyone can use for this. It is a platform for everyone where we can help them to use the machine learning. The platform is not made available for, is only made available for companies, not for individuals. Very much like generative AI, but it builds machine learning, so it can help you to automate the manufacturing operations and processes, disease diagnosis, fraud detection, and many others. We may give you a demo for interested companies. You click on new project, you put into this the data, the information, so that based on which, of course, the diagnosis is built, and the system will build you everything. It write the code, the models, and everything without any experience. in programming, and it'll build a new product within hours or 1 hour. We had a user with different data to diagnose skin cancer. He gave us the data information and we built an application where they can diagnose cancer, skin cancer, which is like so quick. If this person applies AI engineer will take weeks. Of course, the platform built it within a few hours and applications were built through just few minutes. It was faster than the AI experts, so faster. So I really felt excited because it is futuristic and it is really cutting edge and mind provoking. This is for companies. Anyone interested, they can communicate with me directly. It is a wave and everyone wants to join the wave. It is high time now to leverage this kind of wave. Knowledge transfer is very important. I cited 8 examples, but I worked across 14 companies. I like knowledge transfer. I have established different initiatives how to transfer knowledge. For anyone interested in this, in innovation, entrepreneurship, the first project is a Scholar Venture initiative that helps innovators to get like financial support strategically and logistic support. It came to a halt because the team members were so busy. Another initiative supported by the cultural attaché by Al Fatani, Her Excellency Al Fatani, with Amal Sindi, King Abdulaziz University. This program seeks to train students abroad in entrepreneurship and other related specialties. We organized the first hackathon in one of the cultural attachés, which was the first time. The program was widely successful for students. The program is still there. Of course, I graduated. I am almost done. In this program, we noticed different gaps for Saudi students, different challenges still faced by students, particularly researchers, when it comes to innovation and apprenticeship. ROAS initiative is one of which, and it will be a non-profit organization. Through this one, of course, we seek to train Saudi youth for innovation and entrepreneurship, particularly scientific research-based entrepreneurship that are difficult and still the logistic and educational support is not so wide or big. So we need to find solutions for the gaps there. And this initiative was selected as one of the best initiatives among the 500 initiatives. Prince Mohammed bin Salman organization known as MISC, so that they can provide us with more support. The initiative will be launched and announced officially. REACH-SCI initiative supported by Cambridge University, seeking to do the same but at the global level. And how for me to bring these skills or from expertise from me or from some other experienced people, and how to bring these expertise to the developing countries. This initiative has been there for about 4 years. We've been able to create this kind of impact across more than 50 countries, creating leaders in entrepreneurship across the world. Why we focus on research studies leading to innovation entrepreneurship projects? First and foremost, His Royal Highness Crown Prince launched the national strategy. It started from KAUST, but it has to do with all the students inside and abroad. So it is a priority that we all need to focus on. Also, we have different challenges across the kingdom, so we cannot bring someone from outside to solve the problem. Agriculture in the kingdom, no one is interested, so we have to think of this. We need to make research studies and make initiatives to solve the problem. Other ones are there still. So we need to be, we need to initiate solutions. Also, Global Innovation Index, which of course assess and rank the students in terms of inputs and outputs. The kingdom, in terms of the inputs, are unique across the world. Which is 34. The outcomes are much less. Our outcomes is 60, so they need to enhance our efficiency. So this is something that we need to focus on. So the results are of inputs and outputs are not the same. The inputs is about 30 and the outputs are 60. So we need to enhance the efficiency. We also develop based on the inputs and outputs as well. So many people suffer from job opportunities for their own specialties. For my specialty, no one company can benefit from my own expertise in my PhD. If I don't open a company to benefit from my expertise, then I have to work on something that has nothing to do with my specialty. So we need to make this for us. In no one single company can be existing in your own to leverage your expertise. So we need to open the pathways, the best pathways or opportunities. And this all leads to more and more development for the national economy. I hope that my experiences were very beneficial to you, particularly for students. For all the people, for the profit or non-profit organization, or for the companies I established. Thank you so much. Happy always to communicate with you. These are my contact information. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for the inspiring presentation and your engagement. Honored now to talk about the SIDF and the support coming from the SIDF for the entrepreneurs. We have 7 pathways. We will talk about SIDF and then we'll see some stats about SIDF and the sectors financed and funded by the SIDF and the activities not funded or financed by the SIDF and the activities, services provided for enterprise and also requirements for application and the journey for the customers or the clients of the SIDF. First, it was established 1974 to be the first financial support and the strategic support. The vision was to make the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to be a leading industrial logistic hub. We work under the umbrella of the Ministry of Industry, in addition to others such as like Ministry of Industry, Modon, and others. We also work under the National Development Fund. Over the 50 years of the journey of this SIDF, it supported more than 4,000 industrial projects at about 192 billion Saudi riyals, and the total investments more than 700 billion Saudi riyals, and it has increased more than 25 times. The sectors supported by the SIDF are not industrial sectors, energy, logistics services, and others. But some activities not, of course, financed and supported by the SIDF. This is based on the research studies, where we understand the value of the feasibility of the sectors to be funded and whether they are promising for the development of the sector in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. To further understand and be aware of the most updated list, you can find it at the website of the SIDF. The services provided by the SIDF are not limited to financing or funding, but also consulting, training as well. Other services provided by SIDF include loans or funding, or loans. Some may be extended, some others need just the finance, the operating or the working capitals based on the needs of the project. Then the SIDF can support provides financial support. We have different incentives, growth incentives, such as renewable projects to use the renewable energy, and localization project to enhance the local content, and competitiveness global competitiveness program, where projects need to apply the fourth industrial revolution technologies. This is one of the programs financed by the SIDF, which is financing supply chain to support the local providers through providing innovative financing solutions to enhance their own roles in the national economy. SIDF also provides and offers consulting services which aim to enhance the cost efficiency and supporting the growth strategies for factories, agile manufacturing programs and projects, and operational capacity and qualities. SIDF works with different entities such as Munsha'at, incubators such as King Saud Incubator 1K Mile, and incubators such as KAUST. We are now in the Knowledge Month, and it is our role now to support the industrial sector entities to provide them with the skills and trainings. In addition, of course, the SIDF also has a special academy, which is the SIDF Academy, which is the Educational Academic and Learning Academy. The academy per se works in close cooperation with different highly selected companies, global companies, entities, to provide academic programs of high quality to develop the industrial skill set. Recently, the academy has been given, of course, the academic training, academic accreditation by the authority of accreditation. What are the requirements of application to this SIDF? Well, the application or an application should be complete. The purpose of establishing this project, the scope of project, the products expected to or aimed at for the project to be producing, also the legal documents such as article association, a contract, residence contracts, if non-Saudis, and should be all valid. The requirements, of course, can be obtained or can be, sorry, or you can have further detail about this, of course, at the website of the SIDF to look also the also you can look into the requirements for the financial solution at the website of the SIDF. Who are the SIDF clients or customers? It starts from applying the initial or request. It is initiative application or request. It covers some legal information, basic information, owner's information. We verify and validate the application first, and this kind of application to be proved or the initial approval is not a final one. So once the customer applies for financial support, doesn't mean that he has an approval. Then we need to check and cross-check the comments of the legal requirements, and based on a research study or in-depth study, we need then we decide whether this project is eligible for financing or funding. Then an agreement should be signed by the two parties. Then investment should be or the payment will start, and the grace period also will be given all the way up to the full journey of the loans. Thank you so much for attention. I'm calling now the Deputy Executive Director for Research Studies, Engineer Ahmed Al-Baghawi, please, on the stage.